Okay guys, it's time for another 30 minutes of pain. I'm making a new video, yeah, that's right. So, this is what we had last time. We basically had a little, like, monster here, and we could shoot bullets, and the bullets would touch the monster or whatever. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And now we are able to remove objects. So we can make use of that. So what I'm thinking is, one, we should remove bullets that are outside. And for this I was actually thinking of having a special function, and we could also use the on collision for this. But I think it's better to have like a on scene, on outside scene, on scene exit. Oh my god, exit. This sounds way better. So this function would get called for every game object that actually exits the scene, so it's outside of the screen. And game object like that. And we are not gonna do anything with this one, but however, if we go inside of the projectiles, we actually want to say, hey, if we are outside, let's delete this, okay? And so what's gonna happen is, in the scene over here where we tick the objects, after we ticked, if we are not deleted, we will check to see if we are outside of the screen. So let's say we need to create like a bounding box, let's say. So let's do that. We basically need an axis line bounding box for the screen, right? So okay, that was not a good idea. So if we run it now, okay. Nice. On scene exit. What did I do? This is virtual. This is good. This is shit. This is good. Okay. Forgot about that. Let's run it now so I can finally explain. So basically we have this, we have the screen, and we want to create a bounding box that's like the entire screen, right? And well, I'm gonna call this the scene, I suppose. Well, the screen, the scene, whatever. And if whenever we are outside, the on scene exit will be called. This is how I'm thinking about this. So let's do that. Why not? So for that, I will add here an ABB scene bounds, as this is basically how big the scene is. Guys, what do you think about making next, after we finish this, like a Terraria clone? Wouldn't that sound pretty good? I was thinking about that. Well, why am I doing this? Doesn't that sound pretty good? I think that sounds pretty good, actually. So, we need to define this at some point, but we are not worrying about that now. And what's gonna happen is, inside the scene, we say, well, you know, if we test for intersection in intersects, and this mBounds. If we are not inside of the scene, then we are going to call the onSceneExit. And we can make another one, like if it went back in, if it was outside, you know, whatever. So onSceneExit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So for now, this should work as normal, like the usual stuff. Oh, these are actually getting... Oh yeah, because they are not intersecting. Yeah, it's in reverse. I was thinking like... Yeah, anyway. So let's create a function here. Void set scene bounds. Whatever. Let's copy this. Let's put it in here. Scene. So we can change the size and the position of this stuff. Scene bounds. We're basically updating this position and size. And let's do that. In here, we can do scene, set scene bounds, and the position we can say 0, 0. And the size, it's the actual screen width, screen height. And obviously this is because we can simply translate the pixels from the game to actual world coordinates. Otherwise we would need to do something else in here. But for this, this is really simple. It's 2D. Whoops, and I'm gonna destroy my microphone one day. So as we can see, this is actually maybe working. I mean, it definitely works better. I'm actually not sure. It seems like they get removed here, which is good. But yeah, and they don't even spawn down here. But they spawn here, which is weird, but I assume they get removed. So in order for us to see if these are actually getting removed, we can pause the game right now while we are inside of the scene.cpp. And here we can actually see how many objects we have. And well, surprisingly, we only have the player and the enemy symbol. So that means all the other bullets were actually removed. No more bullets, sir. Okay. Sorry about that. Good. Now, now we can see. Let's actually draw the bounding boxes quickly. Let's see. So I'm curious about the projectile bounding box. And actually, first, well, yeah, whatever. So this is like a debug thing. Draw rectangle lines, and the position is mBounds m min. Yeah, so actually this is x0. mBounds y0, and the width and height is mBounds. Well, actually no, it's msize, and we want red, I guess. And that is the actual bounding box. Now let's make it slower. Let's hot load this bish. That's weird. Wait, why it doesn't spawn anymore? So the player actually doesn't have a bounding box, so it shouldn't detect collision with it, so it's not removed from that, I think. I mean, that shouldn't happen. I could double check, or maybe it's like an issue with the hot loading. No, it's not. Oh, you know what's happening? It's colliding with another bullet. Wait, I don't know why that didn't work. That's very weird. Wait, why I can't spawn bullets? It has to do with the delete, right? Let's check. So let's do, okay. So let's see when that gets called. So this got called here. We are doing some real-time stuff in here. So our game object was the player projectile, and the game object is player projectile. Okay, so it collided with another player projectile. Okay, maybe I was holding the spacebar too much. Okay, anyway, so we do have to take into account this. And so for this, what we could have is a tag for every entity. So we know what for every game object. And I'm just gonna make a string. Yeah, let that be string, I guess. And tag. And whoa. Usually this would be I don't know, no category or missing. Yeah, no category, no tag, empty tag. And let's see here in the player projectile, we can set it to projectile. Okay, and we see we say here, hey, if we collided with other.mTag okay, let's see. Oh, because it doesn't know what's a string. Obviously, why would it? String. Okay, and we say, hey, mstring mtag is equal to my tag. Right? If they are equal, it means it's another projectile. It means we have to ignore it, and we simply say, okay, just return, go back home, baby. And now this doesn't happen anymore. Okay, so that is the bounding box. And we want to actually be able to offset this. Okay, and let's do that. Let's say every projectile has a m bounds offset. Okay, and we're simply going to use the size for the bounds also, so no issue there. We could also call this m bounds size. I think that sounds pretty okay. Since they are all linked together, we are not using the size anywhere else. So let's do that for now. And the first thing we have to change is wherever this gets used. So let's go find all the references to this. And we see here, when we create it, we don't apply the offset, which might be good or not. But let's take that into account. M bounds offset, which we have to specify here that it's like 0, 0. And we should actually have like a v2 0 like that, and we are going to create it in just a second. We have here mBound size, which gets pretty neat. Let's create a static v2 0 return 0, 0, and obviously let's make it nice and clean and consistent, just how we like it. And here we have mBounds. That's pretty good. Here we also update this in the game object without taking into account the mBounds offset. Bounds. Okay. Where we also use it here. m bounds offset, which is gonna be feed to 0. And by default, this should actually be 0, by the way. Here we are actually gonna change that in just a second, because these are the projectiles and we want them to have a smaller bounding box, so they are more accurate. So because now it hits stuff they shouldn't hit, and you know, it's like we are in like Team Fortress 2 or something. Speaking of destroyed games, I actually liked Team Fortress 2. I actually played it quite a lot. So I wanted to go here and do this 0, like that. And we also are using it not in here, but sure, like that. And here we actually have to add in the bounds offset .x and the bounds offset .y, so we actually get a nice representation of the bounding box. Wherever we are changing this, we also have to change it in here, because we are recomputing, we are computing the future bounds, and so here we have to take into account the new, like the velocity for our position, how much we want to add to our position. And we have to change it here that so that we also add in the game object and bounds offset. Okay, so now I think we basically changed it everywhere. Let's run this and we should have the same thing, hopefully. And we do have the same thing. It still works. They get removed, which is pretty nice. Now what's gonna happen is in the player projectile here, we want the attack speed to be slightly that's actually in the player. This is a quick thing. So the attack speed should be like 1 bullet per second, and we want our projectile here to have a offset for the bounce. So offset is gonna be so we know it's 16 by 16. Well, actually the size we are displaying is 64 by 64. So oh, I forgot to turn this on. Oops. Again, true professionals. So we want probably like 16 by 16 to be the offset. We can hot load it. So okay, that's completely wrong. Let's go back on that. Let's do like 8, actually less than that, maybe 4 by 4, and the size, it's not 64 by 64. Let's make it like 48 by 48, 40 by 32 maybe. Let's see. And I'm just, you know, randomly saying numbers here. Oh my god, that's actually very accurate. What the hell? I should get a prize or something. I can like eyeball the dimensions. Well, I don't want to brag or anything. Well, this feels like this can be like 40 here. And this, well, I think they are okay. Let's see. Wow, that feels very accurate. I think I'm gonna let that be like that. Nice. And obviously we need the same thing for the mob. Although the mob it's like the whole image, it's the bounding box. So we can leave it like that for now. That feels pretty okay, for now at least. So let's try. What should we do now? Let's go back on the attack speed. Let's comment out the drawing. Let's actually add health for our simple enemy. So in here, let's also add like M health, like that. We should also add some invincibility frames, so we can't Well, well, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not very familiar with shoot 'em up games, so I'm not entirely sure how invincibility frames are working there. I suppose there aren't any invincibility frames. Maybe because, you know, every bullet should hit you. So I'm actually gonna, I'm not gonna do that actually. So let's say health is whatever. Let's do, whoa, let's do 100 health each for now. Or, okay, let's say like the basic bullet hits for 1. And these enemies need 3 hits each. Okay, let's do it. Let's keep it simple, guys. Oh, I commented this, that's why. Okay, I was thinking like, didn't I have like something to turn that thing in like red or anything? Okay, what we could have is like a hurt time. So we actually know how much we should display the color to be red. So we say like, hey, if hurt time is greater than 0, the color is red, else color is white. Okay, and what's gonna happen here is say, hey, hurt. Well, we shouldn't. We should actually have a method called hurt, right? And that's what we are gonna have. We're gonna add in here the color, color, like that. Hurt time is gonna be 0 by default. Don't forget to initialize your stuff, guys. Otherwise, we are running in debug mode, so the game, you know, while we are debugging, we are obviously gonna make it work, but once you change this to release, you might be surprised how many times this, well, not this game in particular, but games or other programs will actually crash because stuff is not initialized, okay? Because when you do it in debug, programs actually have a lot of things already initialized with garbage values. Well, but they won't crash if you go outside of bounds or anything because buffers might be a bit bigger than usual. You know, certain things that might not be initialized by default will actually get initialized to 0 or whatever, and your program won't crash in debug, but it will crash in release mode because you don't have the debug mode enabled. So just a heads up there. I see my microphone was spiking at some point, so I'm gonna try to not speak into the mic as much. You know, I'm still kind of new to this technology thing. Okay, right. So let's actually create here a function called hurt, I guess, or on damage received. Oh, that sounds pretty nice. On damage received. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. Now, there will be an issue. So we have to decide now, do we want to apply the damage in the bullets, or do we want to apply the damage inside of the enemy objects? And I would say, I think I actually prefer to do the damage in the bullets. Okay, inside of the bullets. Now the thing is, this function will need to be, well, let's just say receive damage amount, like that. But now we have to do something else inside of, and we can say here like hurt time or whatever I called it. yeah, hurt time is gonna be like a really short amount of time. And so let's go inside of the bullets and say here wherever we do a collision with someone. Also, the enemies should have like a tag like enemy, and we can do a check in here, like if other m tag is enemy, we are gonna hurt them, okay? And what we can do here is, whoa, I'm destroying my setup here. So what we can do is, say something like, we have to cast this game object into an enemy. So we might actually want to rename this from enemy simple to enemy. I think that sounds a bit better. So I'm gonna try to do that. Does this rename this everywhere, entire solution? So from enemy simple into enemy. So yeah, just apply it. Okay, so that maybe worked. Let's say enemy, and this is a pointer, obviously. Dynamic cast enemy, enemy. Okay, our object that we receive collision with, and we also need to include the enemy. Well, yeah, we should also recall this to enemy. Rename, not recall. The StarCraft is really getting into me. Enemy. By the way, guys, do you play StarCraft? You should tell me about the games you play. Maybe we can create a game to fit everyone's preferences. Okay. I for one really like StarCraft. Okay, so I mean, I wouldn't mind making a real-time strategy game from scratch. Like, trust me. Okay, and well, if it has the tag of an enemy, this should be valid. But either way, if this is not valid, we just return. We simply ignore it. Maybe it's like a bad tag or anything. But if it's not, it means we can actually call the receive damage thing, and we should damage it by m damage amount. Damage. But hey, where do we have this m damage? Well, nowhere. We add it now. Float m damage. There it is. Nice. And also this player projectile should actually be called projectile. Yeah, we are gonna see. So, let's see. Cannot open. Yes. Also here. Let's see. Okay, the bullets are moving like shit. Let's put the speed back to 20. Okay, it doesn't get turned into red, which is kind of weird. Oh, I know why, I think. So hurt time becomes 0.1. Hurt time is 0. Let's see. I hope it's a float. It is. Very interesting. Oh, by the way, we don't receive damage to our health, which is pretty bad. Amount. And also here, what we can do is have like a function called death, which will actually say what's happening when we die. So let's do that. That sounds like a good design choice. Death. And when we die, for now we are simply gonna delete this entity. But in the future, we might do something else. And let's put it into like protected, like that. Should be pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. And her time is greater than 0. Color is red. So why didn't the color change? Did it change for not enough time? Oh no, this actually doesn't get called. Huh. Her time is, it's 0. Okay. Oh, we don't call this. Okay. Well, let's, did I do like a hot load? No, okay. So this function doesn't get called. It means in our projectile we messed something. In here, mtag is enemy, which, oh, wow. Guys, have you ever heard of this? Why will the program compile with this written here? This statement means nothing. It's like me writing this. Why are you allowed to do this? Okay, I'm not allowed to do this, okay, but I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to put numbers. I'm allowed to put like Boolean logic in here, right? Which is doing nothing, by the way. This is not Rust or something, right? But I'm not allowed to put words, like meaningless words. Okay, I get it. It might think it's a symbol, like I'm trying to do something, and it doesn't work. And maybe if I'm doing it with numbers, it thinks, well, it's okay. I'm probably not expecting anything out of it. But what should I expect out of booleans? Like, anyway, okay, this got triggered. I'm not even gonna check this because I know it's gonna work. Okay, it died. Nice. So what might happen is that I'm receiving too much damage, which is not good. Okay, so the amount is 1 and it died. Oh, because I'm killing it every time. Oh my god. So if health is less or equal to 0, then I'm dying. Okay guys, I'm not dying that easily. So let's say 5 hits for now. Okay, I forgot to take out the... Yeah, well, also the mob is not turning back to white because we are not decreasing the hurt time. So if the hurt time is greater than 0, we are simply gonna subtract the delta time. This again seems like a bit of a longer video, I suppose. And in the next video we should actually make the yeah. But it looks very, you know, kind of weird, I guess. Let's draw the I can't let you guys like this, okay? I can't let you guys like this. Let's actually draw this, the bounding box, and make it move. Let's make it not move actually. So this is the bounding box. We don't like it. So let's actually change this. This is the amazing setup, the environment makeover. Let's make this. Oh well, I don't think it's gonna work changing it like that. Maybe it will. So we basically want the size to be a bit smaller. Let's say like 55 by 55, which is a very ugly number, by the way. And the offset to be like 5.5, I guess. If we reload it, yeah, this doesn't get executed again, obviously. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but, you know, there was an attempt. So this is what we have, which is kind of okay, but the size is too big. Let's say 50. And now it looks kind of messed up. Let's say okay, I mean, that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, honestly. So, oh, by the way, do you know what happens now? Now we actually can make use of the function we just implemented. If we go into here, we can take this on scene exit thing and say, well, whenever you think you want to exit, you're actually going to change directions. And well, the simple enemy shouldn't actually move like that. Maybe we should, so from this simple enemy we should derive other kinds of enemies that move in certain patterns, or maybe we should call those like movement mechanics or something that we can attach to entities and they will just move in a certain pattern. That sounds pretty neat, not gonna lie. And so if we add in this function in the inside of the enemy, I'm just making this for shits and giggles. Enemy.cpp override like that. We can just say, hey, instead of doing it by time, like that, just do it whenever you are outside of the scene. Okay. And look at that. We killed it. Okay. Okay, so so far so good, guys. See you in the next episode. Later.